Good evening. We begin with election results coming in from across Arizona and the rest of the country. Thanks for joining us. For 12 News at 10, I'm Mark Curtis.
I'm Troy Hayden. Voters in Maricopa County asked to increase taxes to fund hospitals, schools, and cities, and there were different results depending on the race.
All right, so let's start with Prop 409 here in the Valley. Voters were asked to approve, $900 million for Valley-wise health. And tonight, this race, as you can see, is too close to call. Prop 409 is leading, but just by about 10,000 votes.
Of all the school bond elections tonight, none were as closely watched as the Tolleson Union High School District. Voters in that district right now appear to be rejecting that bond proposal soundly. You remember there's some controversy here. Tolleson loaned money to another school district that was struggling, and there is also a plan for an $80 million domed football stadium in this district. And right now, voters are saying no.
And we're also closely watching the Mesa City Council recall election, where incumbent Julie Spilsbury is currently losing her bid to keep her seat. Turning Point back candidate Dorian Taylor leading by 5 points right now.
12 News journalist Chasco Lively has been following this race. You spoke with a very emotional Julie Spilsbury earlier this evening, actually weeping on the air.
Troy, that's right. As soon as those initial results came out, the crowd fell silent and Julie Spilsbury became very emotional with the results. She knew that this was a real possibility going into tonight, saying that she wasn't just going against her opponent, Dorian Taylor. She was going against Turning Point USA. Now, this is an incredibly unique special election. Yeah, Julie Spilsbury, who won her re-election just last year with 65% of the vote, now it appears that she's lost her seat to Taylor, who has never held a political office before, but does have ties to Turning Point USA, which played a very big role in getting her to the finishing line in tonight's election. Now, earlier today, before those initial results came out, we did speak with Taylor as she was greeting voters at one of the polling locations as they were turning in their ballots about this whole process. And she told me, yes, Turning Point was a key player in her election, bringing in several volunteers to help knock on doors. Some were paid to help. Taylor had way more volunteers and signs compared to Spilsbury, telling me she couldn't have done this without Turning Point. As for what she plans to do first if she wins, this is what she had to say.
Communication. I want to send out a newsletter to District 2 right away and let them know after I've aggregated all the information. Okay, here's what I came into. This is what we have going on in District 2 and in Mesa. Here's the budget allocated to it. And here's what I see coming down the pipeline. So you have an idea of where I'm going to need you to vote, right? Like this, I'm going to need to know, what do you want, yes or no? So that's, to me, it's communication is key.
Now, in downtown Mesa, Spilsbury did hold a watch party that we were there. And again, once those initial results came out, Spilsbury became very emotional, shedding many tears along with her constituents who were also there that night. Again, she knew this would be challenging, but she said she didn't lose to Dorian Taylor. She lost to Turning Point USA, saying there was no way she could compete with them.
I've done a dang good job on the city council for the last 5 years. I care deeply about this city and about people. I don't care if you have an R or a D after your name. I want every single person in our city to feel seen, to feel heard, to feel like they belong in our community. And I'm really worried that with a group like this, we're going to have one group of our population represented in my district, and that's not okay.
Now let's talk a little bit about how this recall effort got started. The person who filed the petition said it was the way that Spilsbury was voting on certain issues here in Mesa. Now keep in mind, some of those votes were unanimous with the city council members. But what it really came down to was Spilsbury's support of Vice President Kamala Harris and not President Donald Trump. Spilsbury says that she is a Republican, decided to put her support behind Kamala Harris. And again, that is really what cost her seat. When I asked her if she regrets making that decision, she said no. Her whole point of this election was representing both sides of the aisle here in Mesa, not wanting to make this a political, partisan race. She just wanted to focus on all sorts of constituents. And again, that's what may have ended up costing her seat. Now, as for what happens next, if Dorian Taylor has the majority of the votes, once this election is finalized and canvassed, Taylor will take over the remaining term of Spilsbury, which will be until 2029. So it's almost as if this goes through, it's almost as if Taylor won that 2024 election, because again, if this all goes through, she will hold that seat until 2029. We're live in Mesa tonight. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
You don't often see candidates, show their emotions that way in live interviews. And then Dorian Taylor had the Turning Point she was almost branded by Turning Point on her signs. Like she was a Turning Point branded candidate almost.
Definitely. I mean, when you look at the majority of the signs, they all have that Turning Point USA logo. And again, she said they just really played a key role in getting those volunteers out to go and knock on doors. She also did say that she did have all other volunteers that lived here in Mesa that did just want to come out and support her as a candidate. But you really can't deny how big of a role Turning Point had in this election. Yeah, and I bet we're going to see more of those Turning Point branded candidates coming up in this next election. Chase, thank you. You can find more election results for the races in your area by going to 12news.com. We'll have more on tonight's results on Today in AZ, and that starts bright and early tomorrow morning, 4:26 a.m.
Tonight, the death toll continues to rise after a UPS cargo plane crashed while taking off from the company's hub in Louisville, Kentucky. Within the last hour, officials say that 7 people are now confirmed dead. 11 more are injured after the plane crashed into an industrial area near the runway. The plane was headed to Honolulu and was loaded with tens of thousands of pounds of fuel. The crash causing a massive explosion. The crash happened near UPS's Worldport facility, a key part of Louisville's identity.
This is a UPS town. My cousin's a UPS pilot. My aide's tennis partner is a UPS pilot. The intern in my office works overnight at UPS to pay for college. We all know somebody who works at UPS, and they're all texting their friends, their family, trying to make sure everyone is safe. Sadly, some of those texts are probably going to go unanswered.
Yeah, debris could be seen on the runway, including what looked like a part of an engine. The NTSB is expected to be on the scene tomorrow and will take over the investigation.
Maricopa County Sheriff's Office is sharing some new video showing a high-speed chase that ended at Sky Harbor Airport over the weekend. Deputies trying to pull a car over for speeding near the Loop 202 in Priest. The driver took off, driving near 90 miles an hour through the airport, and you can see the result here. The car ended up crashing into barriers on its side at Terminal 3. Police arrest one person there, and then all of a sudden the car catches fire. You can see the fire there, and there's still somebody trapped inside. Other suspects ran away from the car, and instead of chasing them, the one deputy you see here stayed with the trapped passenger to make sure they were rescued and put that fire out. Ivan Correa is under investigation now for driving under the influence. MCSO says more charges are pending.
We have an update in the trial of former Valley chef Anthony Milan Ross. Today, a jury found Ross guilty of killing his family. It happened back on Christmas Day in 2017. He was facing 3 counts of murder and 20 counts of aggravated assault after a shootout with police. Ross will now face the death penalty for murdering his ex-wife Iris and his 2 children. Ross was once known for losing weight through a vegan diet and made several TV appearances before the murders. Sentencing is set for January the 9th. Only on 12 News tonight, a Valley woman has a warning to everyone after she was scammed out of almost $10,000 on her birthday.
She became a victim of somebody pretending to be a sheriff's deputy. 12 News journalist Bianca Bono sat down with her. $10,000 on your birthday. That's not great, Bianca.
No, it's not. And it's the second victim in 2 weeks that we've interviewed who have been targeted with the exact same scam. Thankfully, there is a new law in Arizona that could help this victim get her money back. It's a law that didn't exist a month ago. October 15th should have been a good day for Gail Barr. It was your birthday?
It was my birthday, yeah.
It was her 70th birthday.
And I worked three hours.
She recently came out of retirement and went back to work as a nurse practitioner to help pay for her son's medical treatments. She was finishing up her shift on her birthday when she checked her voicemail, looking forward to celebratory messages. Instead, she was greeted with this.
Yes, this is Chief Deputy Derek Elmore with the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. I'm trying to gain contact with A1 Miss Gail Barr.
She called back.
The so-called officer said that I was scheduled for jury duty the day before on October 14th, and I was hand-selected to be on jury duty for a medical malpractice case, because of my background as a nurse or nurse practitioner. So that rang a bell. He knew my address, my phone number.
He said she had missed jury duty and would be arrested if she didn't pay up, claiming she would get her money back once they confirmed her identity and set up a new court date.
And they even wished me a happy birthday. And they said, this is not your day.
And it wasn't. She drove to the bank, told there was a maintain contact order, so she couldn't hang up the phone or tell anyone what was going on.
I had a certain amount in my savings that I've been earning over the last 1.5 to 2 years.
She withdrew $9,260. She was then directed to a Circle K in Tempe, where a Bitcoin ATM machine waited inside. The ATM's receipts warn of Arizona's regulations, establishing a $2,000 daily limit for new customers. The scammer had no problem finding a loophole.
I thought it was very strange.
But they instilled fear, so she kept going. From 12:43 p.m. to 1:48, more than an hour, she stood at the machine depositing her hard-earned cash as the criminal on the phone created 5 separate accounts under new names.
I was afraid. I was scared. I just wanted it all to end.
When it did, it wasn't over. She started driving to MCSO headquarters when the scammers told her they needed more, $12,000 more, which she didn't have.
It was like my brain was hijacked. I couldn't think clearly.
She drove to Chase Bank. She only had $3,000 more to give, and she was about to, until the bank employee sensed something was wrong.
He started to ask me, well, what is this for? I said, oh, it's for my son. And he said, are you going to take this money to your son? And at that point, I couldn't continue with it. I just couldn't say anything. And he said, let's go in the back and talk.
She hung up the phone and contacted Tempe police and Bitcoin Depot. Their investigation into her case is still ongoing. The silver lining of this happening on Barr's birthday, it meant that a new Arizona law protecting victims just like her had just taken effect. The cryptocurrency kiosk license fraud prevention law requires crypto ATM operators to issue refunds to victims as long as it's reported within 30 days of the transaction.
They could have gotten an Academy Award.
For all of the wrong reasons, Barr's milestone birthday was one she will never forget.
I felt like a criminal.
It's now her birthday wish that the same thing doesn't happen to anyone else.
Nobody needs this kind of stress in their lives, and people need their money that they earn.
And Gail asked that everyone who sees her story tell at least one person about it, hoping to prevent it from happening to someone else. Now, something else she hopes to see come from this, more widespread training for bank employees and for employees at gas stations and markets where these Bitcoin ATM machines are, because they can keep an eye out for folks that are maybe spending a little too much time at the machine. Guys.
Yeah. Seems crazy that it even exists.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Bianca.